So we are back. We're going to attempt to finish up or at least continue with the edge of the boot lid because we have to change it, and I'm going to water brush a certain part from the front axle because I need to put it in citric acid. I already have one water brushed ready to go into primer paint, but because I have two and I want to protect the other one as well, or maybe even sell it, it's from a 1.2 liter A Manta that has a little bit different engine mounts that can be cut off potentially and be used for camshaft and head engines, but I'm going to keep it as it is. Maybe it will come in handy someday, or I'm going to sell it, we'll see. Now, I had a very interesting visit the other day, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this in the future videos. It's about painting the car and prepping. I think this will be something beneficial for both me and you guys because we will all learn a lot about this. I think this will be a great part of our project, but first we still have to do the body work. Let's get cracking. So this is a place where the boot lid has been patched before. It has rot around it as well, and as you can see there is quite a lot of body filler everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to water brush body filler off probably around here to see what the condition of it is. Because of rust from the inside, this bit here needs to be replaced because the lower edge that's folded is completely rusted, and also the inner one. So I will water brush it off and see how much damage it is, and if I can repair it, or I will have to find a replacement. Okay, so now we are back with the boot edge. We need to bend the edge upwards because now we have just flat surface on most of the areas except here and here on the other side. So all the round and the upper lip. So we now have a curvature like we have to, and we have cut the bolt so we can go into the surface and then start bending it. This is a nice little way because we have a curvature, so we're going to follow the edge, so the lip will be also curved. So this is a nice little trick. The only thing you have to be careful is that you do not go crazy with the first bend, because if you're going to do too much, you're going to bend it too far and you're going to deform the metal. So just go easy, bend a little bit and then go one more round and one more round, so have a bit more iteration, so you're going to have the whole edge uniform. So yeah, we're going to attempt to do that right now. It's going to suck if we don't get it right, but I think it's going to be okay. We have tested when we cut the bolt. We have made a test panel like we did with most stuff, and then measured how tall the lip is so the gasket will be correct size. So we're going to have a nice seal, and so the gasket isn't floating on the edge. So take 2 extra minutes, make a test plate, and then you're going to know what you're working with, so you do not test it on the car and mess it up and then have to repair your own mistakes. So keep that in mind and let's get cracking. Also be careful that you push the bolt completely inwards and then just go a little bit by little bit. Try to be consistent with your bends. This is where you have the double edge because there is a reinforcement underneath it. So now be careful that you go under between the 2 plates with the lower edge of the bolt and continue with bending. Don't forget, keep the bolt totally pressed against the edge. So you will have a nice edge, because if you're going to put it in outwards and then inwards, you're going to have the edge like this. Take your time, go easy, take a break if you have to, and just let the tool do most of the work. Also gap your bends evenly and quite close together, so you will not make ears on the edges of the bolt, because then you will have to straighten that out and you're going to have a problem, because when the metal is bent it normally makes itself longer, so you'll have to beat that back and you'll have a lot more troubles. With a lump like this, it's going to be hard to insert the bolt, so this is why you have to take your time and do it slowly, because if you go too crazy it will not want to go inside. So just take your time, make sure that the edge is totally inward, and then just bend up little bit by little bit. See, I went too far and now the head of the bolt doesn't want to continue on the edge. So you have to muscle it a little bit. Be consistent, take it slow and keep on doing it. Okay everyone, so now this is done, roughly. We still need to weld it. I have applied some zinc weld-through primer, so we can then weld, because 2 metals will be overlapping, so we need to protect it in between. And then we need to finalize the edge, just go over it with a grinder to have a nice smooth surface. And now this is done. We have test fitted our gasket and everything worked out great. We still need to figure out what we're going to do with the trunk lid, because this one, as you can see, has been worked on before. We have a patch here, a shit ton of filler, a lot of filler on the deck, and the inner edges are rusted out. So either we're going to attempt to repair it, it's repairable, but it's going to take a lot of work, or I'm going to find a replacement. So this is it for this episode. See you next time. Bye.